Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to another soulful session of Mondays with Monday. This is where we dive deep into the rhythm of life, love, and U.S. liberty. I'm your host, Edie Monday, and I'm ready to groove through the beats of the week with you. And today, we're discussing the critical importance of defending equity and inclusion in our communities right here in the good old US of A. So grab your Kool-Aid and your Spam and crackers. Kick back and let's get into it. It's imperative that we defend equity and inclusion. You know, I'm thinking it's time for a civil rights reboot, a removement. And we've got to defend equity and inclusion, y'all. In the annals of civil rights history, certain names stand out like beacons guiding us through the tumultuous journey. This journey led us towards equality and justice. People that you probably won't remember, like Harry Belafonte, Ossie Davis, Ruby Dee, Sammy Davis Jr., you remember him, Dick Gregory, you remember him, and Sidney Poitier. They known collectively as the Leading Six. These were amongst the earliest, most consistent, and most influential Hollywood stars that were engaged in the civil rights movement. They weren't by themselves. They needed help. They held the support of a growing cohort of interracial stars like Marlon Brando, Theodore Bickel, Diane Carroll, Dorothy Dandridge, Charlton Heston, Burt Lancaster, Lena Horne, Eartha Kitt, Paul Newman, Elizabeth Taylor, and others. Now, these people were active throughout the 60s, so we're going to have to rethink and revamp. These luminaries provided not just visibility, but also crucial financial, strategic, and emotional support to the movement's organizations and to their activists. These mega Make America Great Again stars for freedom played a pivotal role in the success of the civil rights movement. As spokespersons, we need those today, fundraisers, strategists, morale boosters, and they did this for the activists that were on the front lines. They paved the way for celebrity activism, which had kind of died off during the dark days of the House Un-American Activities Committee investigations and the McCarthyism in the late 1940s and 50s. Look it up. These celebrities attended and organized rallies and marches, performed at fundraising events, leveraged their show business and political connections to bolster support for the movement, and even participated in direct action campaigns. We've got to get involved. Now, it was by 1963 that the civil rights movement had gained traction amongst Hollywood celebrities, becoming crucial to the Northern liberal support network vital for the movement's triumphs. Success. Simultaneously, these stars for freedom, brought the gains from the movement back to Hollywood, just like we're going to have to bring it back today, pushing for better portrayals of African Americans in films and increased economic opportunities that went behind the scenes. There are contemporary challenges to equity and inclusion. Yet, despite the historic gains, the battle for equity and inclusion, it goes on today. The attack on diversity inclusion initiatives have intensified in our country. With more than 30 bills across the United States, they're targeting these efforts at public colleges alone. The recent Supreme Court decision effectively ending race-based affirmative action in higher education has emboldened activist voices, leading to a wave of challenges against workplace DEI, remember diversity, equity, and inclusion, and all of the efforts and the ground that have been gained over the years. Now, the clash between the legal assault on DEI and its fundamental value as a cornerstone of this, our American society, has created a paradox. While the law under a conservative Supreme Court majority may seem to undermine DEI efforts, the commitment to diversity and inclusion is deeply entrenched across major institutions. Diversity, my people, is not just a value. It's a fundamental aspect of our multicultural community. We are the melting pot of the world. So, what happens when the unstoppable force of legal challenges meets the unmovable object of societal values? That's a mouthful. We foresee a transformation, looking into my crystal ball. We've got to transform rather than be defeated. As legal standards evolve, smart organizations can adapt by shifting their DEI approaches strategically, understanding the legal risk involved is crucial. DEI programs becomes most precarious when they confer preferences on protected groups regarding palpable benefits like jobs. Well, it's hard to say that. Promotion or training opportunities. To mitigate these risks, organizations can adapt strategies that promote inclusivity without preferences or direct benefits tied to protected characteristics. Boy, there's a lot of P's in there. Let's talk about why equity and inclusion is dangerous. There are 4 reasons why the ending of equity and inclusion is perilous for marginalized communities. I want to start with the loss of vital support systems and resources. We're the last informed and the first harmed. There needs to be a reinforcement of systemic inequalities and discrimination. Number 3, diminished opportunities for the underrepresented groups. That's important. And 4th, the erosion of trust and unity in our communities. We've got to come up with strategies to avert equity and inclusion issues. And doing so, I want to offer 5 actionable ways. Did you hear I said actionable? That means you have to take action. Action, A-C-T-I-O-N. We've got to be there to avert the dangers of ending equity and inclusion in our communities. We have to advocate, number 1, for inclusive policies and practice in workplaces and institutions. Number 2, we've got to be there to support organizations and initiatives that promote diversity and equity. You got to show up, folks, and roll up your sleeves. It's important to engage in conversations and education about privilege, bias, and systemic discrimination. It can't be a buzzword anymore. And we've got to participate in activism, just like action, and advocacy efforts to protect and advance equity and inclusion. It's important. And we've got to amplify the voices of the marginalized communities and promote their representation in decision-making processes. Wow. The beat goes on. But it's up to us to keep the rhythm of democracy alive and kicking. Let's do this together. Until next time, stay groovy, stay woke, and get caught up in the mix of equity and inclusion. Keep spreading that love by insisting for a more just and inclusive future. At this time, I'm going to do a special shout out. Can I do it? We're going to do shout outs to Poshines. Not just a restaurant, but an institution, and it's located at 8139 North Denver, right here in the heart of Kenton, Portland, Oregon. And you can expect the best soul food this side of Willamette. Aunties and Tanties Daycare. The best child care services in Portland, in America, I know. And Adorn Electric, they really light up our lives. And I'm grateful for their support on this podcast. You can visit me right here, Edie Mondene, on Sunday mornings at Celebration Tabernacle, 8131 North Denver in Portland, Oregon. Now, I want to do a special thank you to our production team. Dion, Robin, Andy, and Paul, guess what? Not one of them is bigger than the other, and they all stand tall. These are the guys who make this podcast possible. Now, it's important. This is important. Listen, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends and followers. I need you to do that for me. Please turn on your notifications, folks, so you never miss a thing from Mondays with Monday. And be sure to follow us on Facebook. Come on now. push the buttons, and YouTube. I'm signing off here, but I want you to remember, America belongs to us all, and we must demand that the government does its right. There's a right way to do everything, and every man can't just be out for themselves, but we've got to be out for each other, holding one another accountable. It's morally imperative that we stand up, we the marginalized, for equality and inclusion as a fundamental aspect of our values and society, and to help each other, regardless of creed or color. I'm out of steam, y'all. But until next time, stand up. Talk to you soon. Hey, gang, I've got exciting news. I've just finished my memoirs, and writing them was, wow, a roller coaster, but I'm glad that I did it for me and for you, and it's a way to get to know Edie Montané just a little bit better. What you thought you knew, you didn't know. It's called From Maladies to Melodies, growing up in the South St. Louis projects, and what God has done in my life even to this day. I'm excited to share it with you. Please look for it coming real soon.
Hey, it's time for you to come to Post Shine. Check out that catfish sandwich. Oh my goodness, is that the shrimp po' boy? Man, look at that chocolate chip cake. Man, I need to get over to Post Shines at 8139 North Denver right now because this food looks delicious. Or call if you'd like, 503-978-9000. And don't miss it, you'll be sorry.
In times gone past, we find ourselves making excuses so that people reminded, ooh, I've got to get home and tend to the brand new missus. I need some time alone. Can't this wait until I finish texting on my phone?